Hello, thank you. We're here for this segment of this hour. We're going to be talking about the victims of parental alienation. We're here with Bartolo Drago, president of bartolosfoods.com. He started an organization called VOPAC.org, VOPAC.org, Victims of Parental Alienation Community. It's a community. It's a community of people who have been separated, not by their will, from their children. Millions of people are affected, and the effects it has on children is equal, according to the American Psychological Association, the APA, equal to sexual abuse. Interesting. So being separated from a parent, the effect it has on children is equal to sexual abuse. You grieve for your living children. And how's that possible? Because you're separated from them involuntarily. The community, Victims of Parental Alienation Community, is a group formed to help support awareness of the psychological abuses of children and the parents. The website is vopac.org, VOPAC.org. Dr. Khanna is going to be interviewing Bartolo Drago. His website is vopac.org.
Thank you very much, Gary. And I just want to reiterate the audience and the children, parents, those who are listening to this. This is a very touchy subject. Not many people know about it. It's called parental alienation. Well, what is it? In simple terms, it is nothing less than a child abuse. This is nothing less than harmful as sexual abuse. So, how child abuse and sexual abuse for the children can be controlled? This is exactly why Mr. Bartolo, is with us. He's an expert, though he said he just uncovered this a year ago, but the year worth of research what he has done, and plus he is a victim, I would say, a part of the involuntarily alienation parent, which he understands what he's going through, and he is telling everybody that you are not only one. He has built up a community where there are a lot of other parents are part of this. So that's all good. We need to teach the parents, we need to teach the children what is alienation. But what is the next step? What is the solution which Voice of the Kids can partner with your organization and provide to the community? This is the important subject which Voice of the Kids brings to the table. So I have the fortunate time today. I have Mr. Iboa, I have Gary, both of them belong to Voice of the Kids, and they definitely, even though they are not the victim of this type of alienation, but they can understand that child safety is the key for a child. The voice, hearing the voice from the children is very important. So let's open up this discussion. Like Gary said, Mr. Bartolo, why don't you first jump in and tell us that how Voice of the Kids can help you or help parents like you so that we can rescue these children, those who are part of this child abuse?
Well, you know what? Like most things, Dr. Khanna, education. People need to be educated on parental alienation before it happens. Maybe when a couple gets married that don't have children, they plan on having children down the line. You know, we have to go to certain classes we take before we get married in a Catholic church, for instance. Why not teach about parental alienation? Why not teach the Children Bill of Rights? The Children Bill of Rights are only 12 rules and regulations. So I think maybe even in high school, maybe teach a course in high school. When you got 22 million people suffering from this, this becomes a business now. This is an industry for psychiatrists and for therapists. Maybe they don't want to all correct the problem because it's big money. It's a $50 billion business, okay? A $50 billion business. Think about that. So when I go online and I look at therapists, and I have a lot of them that try to latch on to my website, I block them or I get them off because they said, I'm an attorney, I can help you, $240 an hour. Not me personally, but they try to put ads on my site. I don't allow that, okay? Because if you really want to help these people, you don't want $240 an hour. We don't do that. So it's become a business, parental alienation. It's profitable for some of these people. And the biggest person that nourishes parental alienation to continue and nourishes it are the law guardians. And I'll say that outright. Everybody I've spoken to in every country, it doesn't matter what state in America I talk to, these people, they all blame the law guardians because the law guardians do not give due process. They don't need to speak to both parents. They speak to one and they make a decision the child is better off with that one. How could you know that when you didn't speak to the other parent? How could you tell? Maybe the other parent could tell you something that would change your mind. So that's one thing that can be done. Due process should be the mandatory. In the time of divorce, custodial parents, the default should be both parents have equal rights to their children. That should be the default, right, automatically. Unless one parent can prove that there is an issue with the other parent, like maybe he's a felon or some criminal activity or something like that. But beyond that, it should be the default. But again, the solution is to educate these people. And you know what? Before it's too late. When you get divorced, there's telling signs of when the child has been programmed or the beginnings. One thing is they don't call you mom or dad anymore. That's key. That's key. When they say every day, hey, mom, hey, dad, and then one day they just said, hey, they leave out the mom or dad, that's the beginning of a program. That's where it's starting. So you can do something about it at that point before it's too late.
Dee from Westchester, you're on the line.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, this has been a busy day. You're about our 10th phone call today.
What a great subject to talk about. I wasn't really familiar with it, but you had talked about the website,
Yes.
and I watched that video, Never Give Up. Oh my God, it's incredibly emotional and so powerful. Bartolo, what inspired you to make that video?
Honestly, when you grieve for your children like we do, you don't sleep. And it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up, and I reached over to my phone, and I hit the notes, and I just started dictating words, how I felt, my emotions, you know, what I went through the years. It just all came to me, almost like in a dream. It wasn't a dream, but get back to sleep, and I couldn't, and I said, you know what? I read it, and I bought some stock photos. I put some music to it. I made the video, and I went to sleep at 5:30 in the morning, and when I woke up, there were thousands of hits on it. So I knew I was onto something right there, and I you know, spread it out there, and within a couple of weeks, at this point in time, with all my different sites, there's over 100,000 views. And people, they get very emotional. They've actually contacted me and told me it opened up old wounds, but they were happy somebody was doing something about it. I actually had a friend of mine contact me who I never knew was married. And he said to me, he said, you know, Bart, I just want to tell you that I haven't seen my 3 children in 15 years. I haven't heard from them. I don't know where they are, where they live. And I didn't even realize this person was married at one time. So, you know what, I'm glad, you know, the video is probably what was the building foundation for VOPCA. Without the video, I don't think I would have came this far. I think it was, it hit locations all over the world. In England, they actually have, I've seen some sites actually take bits and pieces of it and use it for their own videos. In London, I watched a lady do a seminar, and she actually used part of the video also, which I don't care. I want everybody to have it. They can have it for free. It's theirs to keep. But that's how we feel. But the end of the words are the most powerful. Just never give up. Never give up.
Thank you, Dee, so much for your phone call. I wanted to ask Clem, we were talking about a solution, and Bartolo had mentioned awareness, letting people know. I just want to turn it over to you, Clem, and see practically, where does a solution, how does it look like in your mind?
Well, obviously the key point in a solution to this is education. So what it means is that in every program, every aspect, every project, we should build in some educational component for awareness. And the awareness is an awareness at the parental level, most importantly. Now, the second most important part is an awareness by the children. Because, you see, the children have certain rights. The First Amendment and the 14th Amendment give children certain rights, same as adults. The right to due process, the right to be heard, and all that. When we start to teach parents about the rights of children, about the parents' own rights, that's a good starting point. Child's voice must be heard. Sometimes, whether it's the parent hearing the child's voice or is the school hearing the child's voice, somebody must hear the child's voice. The starting point is the home. Parents have to be educated. They have to learn how to hear the voice of the child. Yeah.
You know, you touched on something very, something that brought me back to something that happened to me in the past 25 years ago. I had been through this once before with another daughter, and I was reading my daughter's journal, and she was writing some very important things in her journal, and I thought that was a great thing for these kids to do, especially these young kids. I mean, they barely could spell. They were just, first or second grade. And I thought the journal back then was a good way to actually analyze my daughter, to see what she was thinking. You see a lot of this happen in TV shows where kids draw pictures that don't make sense, and next thing they know, there's some kind of abuse going on in the child's family because they draw pictures of it. But I thought that the journal that my daughter had written was very telling. It was telling me a story of what her everyday life was. Nothing bad happened to her. She was fine. But I was actually enjoying parts of it because I was reading what she was doing when she wasn't with me. And it actually worked out in my benefit. My daughter, who's done very well in life, but what you just said is very important. I think more schools or more people should implement that with children, especially at a young age when they can start to write. Is tell us what you did yesterday, or write down on paper, and let them look at the journals once in a while. Let them keep them in school, not take them home where maybe a parent says, "Oh, I don't like that you wrote that," and throw it away. Maybe that's something that can actually benefit the problem later on. In parental alienation, maybe you'll read something where the journal will say, "My mommy says," or "My daddy says," one parent or the other parent is no good, or is it? Now you have proof right there that there's something going on in the home, and now it's time to stop it. So that's a good point that you made, that the children need to be educated. But you know what? I think people have a little bit of a fear of what age they can start teaching this to them. But you know what? It's not getting better as they get older. So maybe a younger age is a good time to start to actually educate them on, stuff like parental alienation. We're not talking 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. We're talking 8, 9, 10 years old, because that's how old a lot of these kids are when it finally happens, and it's too late.
So you just introduced a solution, and the solution is let them write journals, let them draw pictures, let them play music.
That's not a solution, but that might be one of them.
The VOPAC journal.
VOPAC journal,
right?
All right, where they can tell
good
us
idea.
What the teacher
That's a good idea.
in the morning said, "Kids, sit down. take out your journals and write what you did last night, write what happened, what went on at home, how was dinner, what was your conversation with mom. Yeah, it might be interfering a little bit of their personal life, but it also would open up a box if there was something going on with the child. You will actually read it. A teacher could say, okay, something's wrong here. This is not right. Okay,
This
we need to get in touch.
is a very important topic about the voice of the kids, because most of the time parents don't have the time to listen to the kids. Most of the time, and I've seen this because, being a lawyer, have been dealt with few divorces and some interesting divorces of this. And if you encourage your children to write journals, okay, forget about the legal action we can take, but it opens up the Pandorama box, okay, which is important down the road, that how a child is thinking. Because this is what I've been telling from the beginning of the show, that understanding the child's mind is a biggest challenge for a parent. And that can only go away if we establish a open communication channel between a father and the child and mother and the child. It could be different, doesn't matter, but that communication channel has to be established. Taking advantage of today's situation of the pandemic, whatever is going on about the COVID-19, this actually, I believe, I don't know, I've not done a survey, I've not done a research yet, but since February till date, everybody are in a lockdown mode. The parents are with the children are with the parents 24/7, okay? I want to know, did they increase the communication level? I'm sure, I pray God that they did, because they cannot reach out to anybody other than their parents. Physically, I'm talking about, okay? I know through internet, through Snapchat, through WhatsApp, through text, many things are there today. Now the kids are, communicating, but interacting between the parents, finding their parents 24/7 in the same house, under the same roof, never happened in anybody's lifetime, okay? It just happened March, April, May, everybody were together. Did it improve? Yes. So communication should be another aspect which would be giving a solution. So how to teach the kids? Like, Mr. Bartolo, I like the way when you said in a school, they talk about sexual education. They talk about the other thing. Why can't we introduce? Because, hey, sexual education leads to marriage, marriage leads to children, okay? Right. So high school kids, they need to understand what parental alienation is. And I would open up again, and take advantage of Mr. Iboa to kind of tell a little bit about exactly how Voice of the Kids and VOPAC can work together so that the parents and the children can get benefit.
Yes, what we can do is to put together and create a pathway for providing a platform for reunification of families. We just call it a pathway for reunification of families, and we'll go from there.
Yeah,
I like reunification. I like the word reunification of the family.
Union means one.
Family reunion.
One.
Yeah, right. This is perfect. This is perfect. I think in closer, I would like to really tell the audience, hey, we are there for you. We are here to provide you the solutions, okay? Because we have been empowered by God. When God gives the empowerment, then we can do miracles. So the children are the gift of God, and we cannot ignore them. We cannot allow them to be abused. What type of abuse doesn't matter. Abuse is abuse. So let's unite together. Like Clem said, unification. Well, let us unify together and help the children so that they also don't go through this parental alienation in their lifetime. So
Thank you, sir.
thank you very
We've
much,
got
Gary.
60
Thank you, Mr. Bartola.
Thank-
And
thank you, sir.
thank you, Clem, for coming in today. And thank you, the audience.